Tặng tỏ thầy mở microphone cho thầy pháp chứng.
Hello, 1, 2. Okay, everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, let's try the song I Have Arrived, I Am Home. Không phải hả? Okay, we have on the screen, so we just No. Dây điện.
You may move up a little bit to be able to see the screen.
It seems like everyone just wake up in the morning, so not really. Okay, let's try to sing. I want to find a new song, so this will be okay. This one is quite interesting one. So this is I know that maybe some of you know the song, Call and Respond. Okay, so I will sing first line and you just follow up. Okay. I'm breathing in,
breathing in,
I'm breathing out,
I'm breathing out.
My breath goes deep,
My breath goes deep,
my breath goes slow,
my breath goes slow,
coming,
calming,
easy,
easy,
smiling to life,
smiling to life.
oh life,
Oh, life,
so wonderful,
it's so wonderful.
oh life,
Oh, life,
it's so wonderful,
it's so wonderful.
think you know the song. It's quite easy. So let's go for it. I'm breathing in.
Breathing in.
I'm breathing out. My breath goes in. My breath goes slow. Coming, easy, smiling to life. Oh, life is so wonderful. Oh, life is so wonderful in the present moment.
Okay, let's try one more time. Actually, this one is I sing first, and you two just all together just respond. So the melody will go like that, but it's not sing together. So let's try again. I'm breathing in.
I'm breathing in.
I'm breathing out.
I'm breathing out.
My breath goes deep.
My breath goes deep.
My breath goes slow.
My breath goes slow.
Coming,
Calming,
easy,
easy,
smiling to life.
smiling to life.
Oh, life,
Oh,
it's
life,
so wonderful.
it's so wonderful.
Oh, life,
Oh,
it's
life,
so wonderful.
it's a wonderful moment.
Again, one more time. I'm breathing in.
I'm breathing in.
I'm breathing out.
I'm breathing out.
My breath goes deep.
My breath goes deep.
My breath goes slow.
My breath goes slow.
Coming,
Calming,
easy,
easy,
smiling to life.
smiling to life.
Oh, life,
Oh,
it's
life,
so wonderful.
it's so wonderful.
Oh, life,
Oh,
it's
life,
so wonderful.
it's so wonderful
In the present
moment.
Yeah, you got it. Easy, right? Let me see, maybe we can have one more song. Okay, maybe this song. Okay, maybe also you know this song. Oh, some of you maybe. We just try the first one, and then we just have like repeat the same melody. Okay. There's a place for you in the circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle for people hand in hand. Okay, let's repeat the first one. There's a place for you in the circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle, all people hand in hand. Okay, and then the second part is the same. There is love for you in the circle, a love you can understand. Come and join the circle, all people hand in hand. There is peace in the circle, non-violent your plan. Come and join the circle, all people hand in hand. There is strength in the circle, as together we all stand. Come and join the circle, all people hand in hand. There is
all people hand in hand. There's a place for you in the circle. The circle can expand. Come and join the circle, all people hand in hand.
Yeah, it's quite easy. Okay, off forward. So we have hopefully like next time you can come a bit earlier, so we have more time to practice the new song. So thank you so much for singing. Can you have to move this back? So we would like to invite the monastic brother and sisters to come up for the chanting before the Dharma talk.
Contemplation before chanting. The Sangha is invited to come back to our breathing so that the collective energy of mindfulness will bring us together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, chant as one body, listen as one body, transcending the boundaries of a delusive self, liberating us from the superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex. Xin đại chúng đã về với hơi thở, và để cho năng lượng chánh niệm tập thể đưa chúng ta về với nhau như một cơ thể, đi như một dòng sông, không còn cách biệt. Xin đại chúng tất cả đều thở như một cơ thể, xướng tụng như một người, lắng nghe như một người, và vượt thoát biên giới ngã chấp, phá bỏ mặc cảm hơn người, thua người và bằng người. So, good morning, dear Thầy, dear community. Let us enjoy sitting leisurely with a lot of relaxation, bringing our mind back to our body by way of our breath, noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Have a light smile on our face as we listen to 3 sounds of the bell. So again, good morning, dear Thầy, dear community. Today is the 23rd of June, 2022, and we're in the second day of our wake-up retreat at Blue Cliff, and we are in the Great Togetherness Meditation Hall. Outside, it is raining. I grew up in Oregon, so I enjoy the rain a lot, and it rains there a lot. And so every time I feel the rain and see the rain, it brings a lot of joy in my heart. It might not do the same for you, I realize, especially those of you who are intense. I hope you slept well enough last night and dry enough. So this retreat is for those of us who are 18 to 35, I believe. I don't think it stretches any higher, right? And so welcome all of you here. I also like to acknowledge those of us who are above 35 or 35 plus are also here to support in the background to help the retreat function. So thank you for your presence. Also, I myself is 35 plus, but I feel very privileged to still be allowed to be here with you. I remember sharing with one of the younger brothers that if I need to be tucked away in my room for the entirety of this retreat, I'll be perfectly fine. So that we can leave space for young people to really be themselves. But I'm here. I have a question for you, and you can take a moment to contemplate. And the question is, what do you think you will gain from this retreat? If not gain, learn. What do you think you will learn from this retreat? Another way of putting it, what do you think you will take home after this retreat? So give yourself a moment to see if you have those things. If you don't, that's fine. Some people come with no expectations. So just give yourself a moment to reflect and see, sort of crystallize it, if you have those intentions. What am I hoping to learn from this retreat, gain from it, or take home? And so by the raise of hand, I will call some of you to share your thought. So our friends share to learn to relax and to take care of self. Yeah. Anybody else?
To get into a more meditative state of mind and bring that back to my work and life in New York.
Sort of like recentering.
Yeah, recentering.
Bringing back the center to our lives. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes? Yeah? Bring back yourself. All right, wonderful. Friend right by Thầy Mang Tuệ.
I'd like to keep the happiness that I find here.
Like to keep the happiness that I'll find here. Anybody on this side of the room? Learn and to accept and offer love. Another friend?
Learn to bring a little bit more space. Little space.
Learn to bring a little bit more space here.
On the tummy. On the tummy.
One more friend?
Well, I'm experiencing a lot of joy and peace right now, and I'd like to remember this feeling when I'm suffering, when I'm lost in mental suffering, so that I can come back to it.
Yeah, to remember peace and joy so that when we encounter sufferings, we know how to get back to the state of peace and joy.
Yes, brother. Remembering to remove distractions when I'm eating.
Remembering to remove distractions when you're eating.
I think that's a big one. I'm going to try the eyes closed at lunch.
Thank you, dear friends, for sharing your thoughts and your aspiration. So the title of this retreat is, as you know, Peace in Oneself and Peace in the World. I also like to ask your help also for defining this word peace. It might mean different things to different people. So by the shout out, what does peace means to you? And you shout out and I can repeat it so the brother doesn't have to go around giving you the mic. Anybody? What does peace means to you? Calm. Going with the flow. Jinx. Acceptance. And I heard something else over here. Not feeling guilty. Liberation. Again? Simplicity. Clarity. Clarity and harmony. Safety. Tranquility. Boundaries. So you see, the list might go on. With this word peace, it encompasses so many different things. But echoes in those responses, I recognize somebody mentioned calmness, which is very crucial for feeling peaceful. You have to be calm in order to actually touch peace, and that's also a state of rest. If we're always agitated, we're always stressed out. It's very difficult to touch peace. And joy and happiness can also be an ingredient in this, so that we can truly feel peaceful. And this peace must be experienced in our daily lives, in our daily interactions. It's okay to call for peace, to demonstrate for peace, hoping one day that the world will be peaceful. But if we don't have peace in ourselves in the moment, it might be challenging to even experience peace once we reach the state that we think is peaceful. And so the practice invites us to find ways to touch this peace, this energy of peace in ourselves, in our daily lives, in the moment, in the interaction or interactions with ourselves, and also with those who are around us. And then further on, our interaction with the environment. Are we feeling peaceful in our surrounding? Is our surrounding peaceful? Is our environment peaceful? And it doesn't just come by itself. Peace, this peace that we want or we need, somehow it needs to be generated. We can't really generate it per se, but we can create conditions for it to manifest. In Buddhism, we often hear about this term, creating condition, having conditions for things to manifest. Things come together because of different conditions. So we can't really force something to be, but the best thing we can do is creating conditions. So if we want happiness, we have to learn to create the conditions so that happiness can manifest. If we want to be peaceful, then you have to learn to create the conditions so that peace can manifest. And if we want to be angry, same, the conditions will be there for us to be angry, for anger to manifest. So everything needs conditions to come together. So in this light, we know that we have a choice, we have a lot of say in how we live our lives, whether we want happiness or we want sadness or we want fear. Conditions come from other sources, but also comes from within ourselves. And so we cannot control outside forces, but we can at least control how we want things to be and how we want to adapt ourselves to our circumstance. One of the basic conditions that we learn at the monastery to create peace is our mindful breath and mindful steps. And this you have already touched since you've been here in the last 24 hours. How to breathe mindfully and how to walk mindfully. Is that right? Yeah. And we have a few more days to do that together. Our teacher, Thầy, he wrote many quotes concerning peace, and I will write some on the board for you. So one is peace in oneself, peace in the world. Another one I saw that he wrote in Vietnamese. I haven't seen one in English, but I'll translate it for you. Dục an tất an. I think it means if you want peace, you will have peace. The Sino-Vietnamese is very succinct. Want peace, have peace. Immediately. Can you see the board from there? Okay. So you see it's quite a few. Consider these as Thay's way of reminding us to cultivate peace or to create conditions for peace to manifest. And you see right already, mindful breath and mindful steps. Breathing exercises, breathing meditation, mindful breath and mindful steps. These are the basics for peace to manifest. So it's not that difficult, it's not that challenging. This is the most easy also. I think Brother Mangtue told us yesterday about smiling, or Sister Thang Yim also shared. So very simple, peace begins with your smile. If you're able to offer yourself a smile, offer the person in front of you a smile, that's the basic peace work. And Thay has another one. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. So many of us think that, oh, there must be a manual of how to get to this peace, or that there's things that we must do. There's a lot of things we must do to plan, to organize, so that one day we will get to peace. But Thay's insight is that that perhaps might be, but can we be peaceful along that path, along the way? And so his way of saying is that don't think about finding a way to peace, but make peace is the way. Make peace the way. So that as we work for peace, we can enjoy and be peaceful every step of that way, and not wait until we reach the end and then feeling peaceful, because we might not know how if we don't train ourselves to be peace along the way. And so they have written these in beautiful calligraphies, and people would get them and hang them in their homes or their rooms so that they can practice. And if you haven't, I would suggest you do the same. You can even write your own. You don't have to get Thay's. Just write your own, your style, and decorate them, and keep them as a reminder to help you to remind yourself to practice peace, as simple as your breathing, your walking, your smile. Okay, let us enjoy the sound of the bell. So talk about mindful walking. I'm one of the 6 monks at the airport the other day that Brother Mangtue mentioned. Just a funny part of the story was, so while we finished getting our transfer tickets and making our way to the gate, we had to go through security. And the four of us went ahead, and one brother and our venerable, our eldest brother, stayed back. They had some complication. So as we got through security and then making our way, we were walking quite fast because we saw on the board, it says, last call. So we're thinking, okay, we can make it. And I saw on the clock, we have about 15 minutes. But the airport was so big. And so we cannot really do slow walking anymore. So I'm thinking to myself, we're gonna do fast, mindful walking. And Brother Mang Toy and I were the first two that got through security, and the other two brothers were behind us. And we're thinking in the meantime, oh no, the venerable and the other brother are still stuck at the desk. I hope they can make it. And so we were walking our way. I think it took at least 10 minutes to get to the gate. And we went through one of those, I don't know what you call them, then the escalator, but they're horizontal at the airport. We don't do that, we enjoy walking, but that day we're like, we need to speed up. And so even on that, we were walking. And before we reached the gate, Brother Mantoy saw the venerable was standing right at the gate. We're like, how did he get there? He was supposed to be behind us, and we were worried about him, but he's already there at the gate. So I'm like, oh, he must have a magic, all those years of practice. But we knew for sure that he was back there at the transfer desk, and now 10 minutes later, and we were still reaching, and he was already there. And then later on, we found out that the brother who was with him was already in the plane. So we're like, wait a minute, how did they get past us? We were pretty mindful. If they ran past us, we would have seen them. But we did not see them, and we asked them, and they did not see us. So something happened. So it was way later that we found out, okay, so they didn't go through the security. They were pointed out because they were late. Someone there pointed them out just to go straight through, some shortcut. So while we're still laboring away trying to get our things out of our luggage for the scanner, they were already on their way. That's why they didn't see us, and we didn't see them. All of this way, we were thinking we were ahead of them, but we were not. But anyhow, I remember the feeling of walking quite fast, but also being aware that I'm walking fast and knowing that I might miss the plane. And Brother Mantoy was right by me, so we're just walking. Did we run? I don't think we ran. We just walked very fast. But in the end, none of us made the plane, so we stayed back. And we had vegetarian pasta for dinner at around like 11 p.m. But I remember feeling really at ease now that we don't have to rush anymore, that we can actually enjoy being at the airport for the next 24 hours. And Istanbul's airport is amazing, it's beautiful, it's new. But more than that, I had my brothers with me, so I was feeling right at home. And I feel like wherever I'll be, or I am, if I have my brothers around, then I will feel fine. I think I would be terrified if I was there by myself. So we're able to actually rest, and the next day, just hang out. We had some veggie burgers for lunch, and then went to the gate and make sure we're there like really early. Like I think we were like 2 hours at the gate and checked in. And so it was mentioned that mindfulness doesn't have to be slow, but slowness helps us to get into the habit of being mindful. Once we have enough of this energy, then we can function quicker. We can run, we can jog, we can do things that we used to do, but now with the level of mindfulness added to that, and so it's more meaningful in our action. And so if you've if you found yourself doing really slow walking as you would here in New York, people might look at you like you're not from this world. So when we go to New York, we also kind of merge in with the stream of people. But the only difference, I hope, is that we're doing it with awareness, that we are walking fast. And hopefully there are practitioners among that stream of people in New York City that also practices the same. Because if you slow down, I think that will like stomp over you or something. And so again, mindfulness doesn't have to be slow. But while you're here, take advantage of the slowness that the environment fosters, so that you can really sink yourself into the practice and really taste the practice. So coming back to yourself in the form of sitting. For example, when you do sitting meditation, you bring your mind back by focusing on your breath. Noticing the in-breath and the out-breath without trying to control them. Or if you were walking, being mindful of your steps. Or you can coordinate your step with your breath. These are the two core practices that help to generate this energy of awareness that we call mindfulness. So when you're mindful, what are you mindful of? The basic thing is you're mindful of what is happening in your body, in your mind, and then in your surrounding. What is happening? What is going on? Most oftentimes we are here, but then we're not aware of what's happening. In this moment, our body can get so tired, can get so stressed out, and we're not aware. We might be a little bit aware, but we kept going. And then our mind can be filled with emotions, filled with different things, filled with fears and worries, but we don't have time for them. We just keep pressing on and pressing until one day we just break down, either physically or mentally. So don't let that happen to you. The practice of being aware helps us to recognize what is happening and then find remedies for it. It's up to us to find remedies for our own situation. Our body might feel stressed out, might feel pain or aches. With mindful breathing, we have a chance to recognize that. And once we recognize that, we can choose to ignore it, or we can choose to find a way to resolve it. Come back to the breath, taking a walk to de-stress, to relax, find a place to lie down, and to practice breathing, to practice relaxation, so that we can take care of our body. And then our mind, when there's fear, there's anger, there's jealousy, there's sadness, recognize and call them by their names and find the causes. And then when we intervene with the causes, they will naturally decrease and dissipate. Otherwise, the condition that keep them manifested will continue. So it's a matter of wanting to have happiness manifested in your life, peace manifested in your life, or anger or fear and sadness manifested in your life. You have the choice. And the core practices to help you do that is to cultivate this energy of awareness by way of mindful walking, mindful sitting, among other many core practices that you learn here. I like the example of a pond. When the pond is, the surface agitated by either a strong wind or people tossing pebbles on them, make the ripples, you can't really see what is at the bottom, or you can't really see the reflection from above. Or the reflection might be distorted because of the movement of the surface of the water. But when the wind condition is removed, when there's no wind, then when you no longer wanted to toss the pebbles into the surface to skip them, you just want to sit and relax, the surface will slowly become still. And once that stillness is present, you might be able to see what is at the bottom of the lake. It might be some fish swimming. The pebbles that you tossed might sit there. And you might also see the reflection of the sky. And so our mind is similar. When the mind is agitated, we don't see clearly, we don't have insight. But when the mind is calm, by way of the practices that we cultivate here, because mindfulness gives rise to the concentration, to the energy of concentration, and concentration gives rise to insight. Once the insight is present, you will know what to do. You have the chance to decide, okay, my body is tired, I need to rest. My mind is confused, I need to take a moment to breathe, I need to just to come back to myself and rest. So we have these tools in order to apply in our daily lives, to bring ourselves back to equilibrium, bring peace back to ourselves. So you heard the term so far, mindfulness, concentration, and insight. So our teachers share quite a bit about this. Even though they look like they're separate, but they inter-are. In the energy of mindfulness, there is already the presence of concentration and of insight. When you are aware, and this awareness is sustained, that your body is tired, and insight will naturally appear. Oh, so what can I do to help to relax my body? So that's a very, very simple example, and we can apply this to any situation in our lives. And if you hear what I just shared, once you have insight, you know what to do. So there is that action, right? There's a step that is missing, and that is once you have insight about your own situation, usually another energy rises, and that is compassion. When we have an understanding that our body is tired, do we choose to press on and to ignore that? If we do, then we're not very loving to ourselves. But if we pause and say, no, I need to take care of myself, that is self-compassion, that is self-care, self-love. And once you have that insight and compassion, action comes naturally. What methods do I use to achieve this, to do this? Our teacher, he he likes to use like day-to-day terminologies. He's a well-learned person and he has a huge vocabulary, but he usually trying to use the most simple and the most easy, the most popular words so that people can understand easily. So usually instead of insight, he would say understanding. And then compassion, love. So you would hear a lot of these terms mentioned in our teacher's Dharma talk. And for me, I remember growing up, I joined a Buddhist youth family, and we didn't learn about, I don't remember learning about mindfulness, concentration, insight, but I remember learning insight, compassion, and courage. So I would translate that as action. And I'll come back to these terms. So let's recap. So we want to have peace in ourselves. We can try to cultivate mindfulness in our daily life so that we can develop concentration, get some insight into our own situation, so that we can be more loving, compassionate toward ourselves, and taking that action to maintain peace, calmness, joy, care in ourselves. From one perspective, it might be looked at as though, oh, you really just caring for yourself. You're not caring for the world. But in Buddhism, we'll offer another perspective, a different perspective. When you care for yourself, you're caring for others. There is Buddhism share this concept of non-action, action. Non-action, action. It just means the action of non-action. I don't know how best to explain it, but I hope you know what I mean. By you're active by actually being non-active. And from this perspective, when you take care of yourselves, others might look at it as you're being non-active. You're not being active in overtly helping others or helping the environment. But actually, in Buddhism, said that is action in itself. That is action. That is courage in itself. Stay with me. When you practice peace, you create this zone of peace. Like a small P here. So this is you. You create peace for yourselves. It's like a candle. When you light it, it creates a zone of light. And if your friend also does that, so your friend is also another zone of peaceful energy. And like, what if 100 of us here practices peace? You have 100 zone of peaceful energy. You're not acting to help any other person, you just do it on your own. So you're a community of peace. And just keep adding. Just imagine if there's like 10 communities like this, 100 or 1,000 communities like this all across the globe practicing peaceful energy, which might look at as like non-action. They're not really doing anything for others. But you're making a big zone of peace. So the whole world be peaceful. So in that sense, peace is achievable. World peace is achievable if each of us knows how to cultivate peace in ourselves. And so in a sense, non-action, action. You with me so far? Wonderful. Let us hear the sound of the bell. I'd like to give you a couple of images to clarify this. A flower. Thầy also often uses the image of the flower to help clarify concepts. A flower doesn't have to do anything. The flower can just be itself. And yet it is fresh, and we encounter it. We're in touch with its freshness and its beauty, and we're happy, we're joyful. Another image is like a tree. A tree doesn't have to do anything extra. The tree just needs to be a tree. And yet it gives coolness and shade to many insects, to many animals, and to us humans also, especially like on a hot day. In Plum Village last week, there were days that like around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Over there they use a Celsius, so it's like 38, 39. It's really hot. But once you go under a tree shade, it's like 10 degrees difference. So it's really nice to have a lot of trees around our practice center. And so a tree doesn't have to do anything else other than being a tree, can already offer peace. A flower doesn't have to be any other thing but itself. And you don't have to be anybody special. You just know to take care of yourself. And you already radiate peace, just like the flower radiating freshness. A tree radiating its coolness and its shade for other people to take refuge in. Core exercises we have been doing and practicing in this retreat, and we will learn more in the next few days. Practices as you have already been in touch with: sitting meditation, walking meditation, mindful breathing, mindful eating. We will learn about how to resolve conflicts or re-establishing communication using loving speech and deep listening, which you will practice in Dharma sharing groups today. How to take care of your strong emotion. Lord Amantue shared about belly breathing. How to focus your attention at the belly so that strong emotion won't wreck you. But don't wait until you have a strong emotion or when you have difficulty and and bring the practice up. We have to practice regularly so that once a strong emotion hits, we know what to do right away. To wait until a strong emotion comes up and we practice, it might be too late. The storm might sweep us over. And so in your daily lives, whenever you remember, come back to the practice, come back to the breath, come back to the steps. Understanding, love, and action. So by being non-active, we take care of ourselves, like the flowers, like the trees. But of course, as young people, we want to do more. And that's fine, that's great. But don't do it alone. Find a sangha, get together in a community of like-minded people so that you can actually act, can be courageous and act. Whatever field you're in, studying or working, could be in education, healthcare, IT, engineers, activism, or even raising a family, wherever you find yourself in. Bring in peace that you cultivate within yourself. Bring in mindfulness practice. This is how we create conditions for peace in the world to manifest. Wherever you find yourself, whatever field you're in, make sure that you bring in that peace that you generate. I have a game that I like to share with you that I also learned in the Buddhist youth family. Just to end the talk on a fun note. So, and this youth family, the youngest is 6 years old, and the oldest is like ageless. You can be 100, and you can join this group. And once you're in, everybody's brother and sisters. There's no aunts or uncle, and this particularly interesting family that I found. It could be 3 generations at home and joining this group. When they're at home, they'll be calling each other, like grandfather or mother or son or daughter. But once they put on a uniform, they go to the temple, brothers and sisters. It's really strange, but it's really fun. And so and we play a lot of games. We sing a lot of songs. And for me, from that and stepping into the monastic life, I don't feel too estranged because I've sort of been around communal living a lot, and especially with this family of they call it youth, but like I said, that's people like my grandfather's age. But we're all in there playing, learning. And so one of the games that I remembered was this game, Understanding Love and Action. But we used the Sino-Vietnamese word like bi trí dũng, it's like insight, compassion, and courage. And so to embody that in a game, we would say, love will be here, heart level, understanding, head level, and then action. You can either use both hands or just use one hand. I have to use one hand because I have a microphone. So the game is, watch me, but also listen to me, and only follow my words. Don't follow my actions. That sounds really bad. But this is a game, so, So it's like, do what I say, but don't do what I do. Okay. You ready? And if you messed up, be honest with yourself. If you messed up, please stand up. You ready? Okay, I have to remind myself. I haven't played this game in a long time. Understanding, love, action. Look at me, don't close your eyes. I know some of you are closing your eyes. Please look at me, but only listen. Do what I say, don't do what I do. Okay. Understanding, love, action. Understanding. You're looking down. Look up here, everybody look up here. Understanding, love, action. Understanding, love, action. Understanding, love, action. Understanding, love. Anybody mess up? Please stand. Okay, we move on. Love, understanding, action. Do it at the same time, don't do it slower. Don't delay, don't delay. Understanding. Love. Action. Understanding. Love. Understanding. Action. Action. Love. Understanding. You guys are good. Okay, only about a third. Okay, please sit down. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presence and your listening. We'll listen to 3 sounds of the bell to end. Take a moment to give yourself a massage, self-care.
So dear Aspirations, dear brothers and sisters, dear